bring in Dan Geltrude, who's an economist joining us. He's also the founder and managing partner of the Geltrude and Company. Dan, India is one of the leading exporters of generic drugs globally. Perhaps some of the cheapest drugs available to American citizens, come from India. At this point of time, many are asking whether these decisions to impose the tariffs are going to hurt, the U.S. citizens themselves is point number one. And point number two, what is it specifically that the U.S. would want? Across the board, there are different sectors. There may be a difference in terms of perception, but will a broad indication as far as lowering of tariff barriers be enough?
Well, what I think Donald Trump is trying to do here is to get a more level playing field. The good news is that it appears that President Trump and Prime Minister Modi do have a good working relationship. And that's very, very important to Donald Trump in terms of how he works. Now, what I think is going to happen here is that ultimately a deal will be negotiated because President Trump wants a deal. He feels that there are too many inequities between the two countries and that we have to move closer together. We can't have a situation where India's tariffs are anywhere from 5 to 6 times higher than what we have for the United States. So I think if we could move closer together, I think a deal can be struck. President Trump has shown that he is flexible if more time is needed, I believe, to work out a deal. I believe he will allow for that. So look, in a trade war, no one wins. So it is far better for the two countries, and we are allies, to come together to get a deal that works for everyone.
All right. We don't just need equality. What the need of the hour is equity, because, there's a huge disparity as far as earnings are concerned. And there's no doubt there may be certain sectors which are extremely protectionist in terms of the tax rates and, those tariffs perhaps need to be lowered. But there are certain interests, in every country would have those areas which are no-go areas. Is that something that's going to be respected is a big question.
Well, I don't blame India for protecting their interests. India should put India first, as the United States would put the United States first. So again, we have to look for common ground here. Just because the United States has a larger GDP doesn't mean that, the United States has to give up so much more in order to get equality there. You have to look at it in terms of what's fair to both nations. And I've said this before. Let's keep in mind that our common nemesis between our two countries is China. So it's in our best interest for us to work together and continue to be trade partners. And I believe everybody wants that, and we will get there.
All right.